Hello, we are Team C and we will be discussing the educational achievement gap and how center-based pre-K education and machine learning can be used to help policymakers. We will be discussing the benefits for center-based care, our modeling methodology, and then our results and what they mean for policy. Preschool begins the process of preparing children to be adults. There are both social and financial benefits to bearing the cost of preschool. Why is pre-K so important? Research on pre-K education has shown that students score an average of 33 points higher on math and reading tests later on in life. They also achieve higher levels of educational attainment, have higher salaries, and are less likely to require social services. The federal government has so far failed to invest heavily in pre-K education. The only federal program, Head Start, is only available to families under the poverty line. It only serves a small minority of U.S. children, and most costs are borne by state and local governments. We are using the 2012 National Household Education Survey, or NHES, for our dataset. The NHES is conducted every few years, gathers information about households, their children, and their children's education. By accurately predicting who is not attending preschool, policymakers will be able to plan and implement programs that will cost-effectively target households. In order for our models to be generalizable, the data must represent the U.S. population. It does accurately represent the U.S. racial composition, with a 69% white population in the data compared to the U.S.'s 72% for whites. Also, 40% of our sample attends center-based programs.
There is an imbalance in the cost between false positives and false negatives. A false positive will be that we predict a child does go to center-based care when they do not. The cost of this will be the child will not be targeted and will not attend school and could have poor outcomes later in life as a result. A false negative will be that we predict that a child does not go to center-based care when they do. Money will be spent by states or organizations to target children who do not need it. That expenditure could have gone to another child who did. Therefore, there's also the opportunity cost of missing that additional child. Therefore, we will focus our analyses to minimize false negatives. We tested 4 models: stepwise logistic, random forest, cart decision trees, and naive Bayes. As you can see from this ROC plot, both the random forest and logistic regression perform well overall. However, they are difficult to tell apart on the false negative side of the scale. Looking at the false negative side of the ROC plot, we can see that the stepwise logistic regression performs best on this criterion. Comparing tenfold cross-validated sets, the stepwise logistic regression also has the best overall accuracy score at 94%. While random forest does perform similarly, since false negatives are more important, we will use the stepwise logistic regression for the final model. To ensure that we are getting the best performance from the stepwise logistic regression model, we tuned the number of features used. We increased the number of features considered from 30 to 80 and found that 70 gives us the best performance on false negatives, and performance on the 80 variable model actually degrades slightly.
Following our tuning of the logistic regression, we began to re-explore a discussion on the cost of misclassification to determine our tolerance in each level of cost. We determined that we could allow 3% of our prediction to be classified as not attending to cover 90% of the target population with complete accuracy. This cutoff will minimize costs while making the largest impact. Notably, the most important factors are socioeconomic and pertain to the structure of families. For example, the number of brothers a child has makes it about 75 times more likely for that child to be enrolled in pre-K. Alternatively, if childcare is being paid for by a non-nuclear family member, it is unlikely the child will receive his or her care in a center, by about 2 times. Despite our results, we still believe there are some risks. For example, there are inherent risks with using survey data, such as biases. Additionally, our data had over 200 features compared to almost 8,000 records, with many of them records containing missing values. There is also high correlation among features, such as variables for the number of brothers and another for the number of siblings. Finally, since we were using data collected in 2012, it may not be informative as using data from multiple time periods. Regardless of these risks, we still believe our results could lower costs for policymakers trying to target households that are not attending center-based pre-K programs and improve societal outcomes as a result. Thus, we are recommending using our model and the factors it utilizes. Still, we believe our analysis can be a powerful tool, but additional data from additional years could further improve our results and predictive power. Thanks for watching.